Hi, teachers. I want to apologize for week 6 and 7 and the confusion that occurred in the instructions. I will be making weekly videos again, and hopefully those will help clarify what I expect to be done during the week. There was information in the content modules that should not have been there, and I am sorry for that, and I will be more careful moving forward. And hopefully something like this won't happen to you. We can hope. In week 8, we're going to continue on working with the Library of Examples for PPAT Task 2 Assessment and Data Collection to analyze and inform student learning. This week, we will be focusing on implementing the assessment. I'm also asking you to read Chapter 2 about a framework for Bold School so that we can begin thinking about using some of the blended learning strategies while you're in your practice. I wanted to introduce you to the idea of the ABCD method of writing learning outcomes, SMART, which is a method of writing goals, and student learning objectives, which is what you will complete each semester at the school that you work in if you're in South Dakota. Other states will probably have something similar. I chose this PowerPoint slide because I wanted to see if you had heard of the phrase be like a duck. We're in week 8. We have many irons in the fire. I am in awe of all of you and what you are accomplishing to meet your goal. But sometimes we have to remember to be like a duck, which is calm on the surface, but always paddling like the Dickens underneath. That was a quote from Sir Michael Caine. I wanted to show you something about the live binder that you may not know. If the information is hard for you to follow, looking at the tabs in this fashion, I'm a visual learner. That's why I like to see them in this fashion. If you go to the table of contents, you will be able to see everything in the live binder in linear fashion. Right now, all you can see is task 1 and the very first part of it, but if you kept scrolling down, you would see the information for task 2. I've made some changes to the tabs under task 2 in our live binder. One of the things that I noticed is that if you go to task 2, step 2, administering the assessment, and click on that, the first thing that you'll see is the actual document. I've made Google Docs of all of the instructions from the ETS website. You are not in this class completing your own task 2. We're just looking at the Library of Examples. However, feel free to make copies of these Google Docs and use them next semester. One of the changes to the Library of Examples and what they have there are examples from several different content areas that may fit your area. So what I would like for you to do is to click on those for step 2, which is on administering the assessment and analyzing the data. Highlight the evidence. I was asked this week about using the rubric to assess your work, and ethically as a rater, I cannot do that. However, what I can do is continue to give you feedback so that you can improve your writing. So this right here is the actual ETS rubric for the task 2 and the different steps. And so what you should do is rate yourself. Notice the words that are italicized. Insightful and in-depth is the best. Appropriate, logical, good, and then uneven, incomplete for fair, and for weak, irrelevant, or illogical. Another suggestion, which I am all for suggestions, was to put the Dropbox links down below so that a person knows that they needed to do them, and so I have done that. If there's anything else, if you have any other suggestions on how you'd like to see the information displayed, please let me know. I'm still looking. We don't have a best practices class on how to set up our classes. We go through a quality matters rubric. Someone looks at mine, I pass because I have all the information there. However, if you're not finding it, that's a problem. And I don't want anybody to have to click more than 3 times or look for over 15 minutes for something. So please let me know. Send me a remind. After you've done your PPAT work, I have a link to a website that has information about the ABCD model for writing objectives that might be useful for you. I also put a template up there for SMART goals. SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timely. And with the student learning objectives that you will work on if you're in the state of South Dakota, that is the format that they would like goals to be written in. I have a link to the latest PowerPoint overview of the student learning objectives. I'd like for us to read chapter 2 in Bold School, which is on a framework for Bold School. You'll have a choice of 1 of 4 questions to respond to, but please do the reading. And lastly, remember that teamwork makes the dream work, and keep asking those good questions. Thanks for listening, and let's have a great week.